Hello fellow X-Men fans, I wanted to do this idea for a while and I don't know why I procrastinated, but here we are. I will be reviewing X-Men films until the release of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Let's fucking go!
And for the first video, I will be reviewing the original trilogy. Let's get straight to it. X-Men released in the 2000s, the first ever X-Men movie. To any other person who doesn't read any comics and wants to get into the X-Men, I guess this movie sort of does a good job into translating the X-Men into live action form and would give those fans an idea of how the X-Men are like. Like, we still get to see the brotherhood of Magneto and Professor X, and Magneto of course being the main villain of the story. And I got to say, this is honestly not an amazing movie after rewatching it for a while. I mean, at heart I really do love it, of course, and I think those suits that they have are such guilty pleasures.
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
But all in all, after rewatching it more and more and clearing my head of all of the X-Men bias, I realized this movie is not that great, yet I still really do like it. And of course there's a lot of enjoyable aspects too. Like, Hugh Jackman of course is the most perfect casting of Wolverine, and the rest of the cast are really good for their respective roles. I really dug the casting of James Marsden as Cyclops. Even though he was not utilized that well within the first trilogy, I still really like it. And how can I forget Sir Patrick Stewart as Professor X is damn near perfect. I mean, whether you hate this movie or like it, you still gotta praise it at the end of the day at how it massively kicked off comic book movies and gave comic book movies a better traction. For me, overall, the first X-Men movie has some fine storytelling, and for a 2000s movie it has some impressive special effects and really badass action scenes. My favorite has got to be Wolverine versus Wolverine, when Wolverine was fighting Mystique, who was disguised as Wolverine too. But the best one in my opinion is the Statue of Liberty final battle. All the stunts in those scenes and the really intriguing fight choreography is also epic. One of the main factors of why I really love the first X-Men movie, even though it's kinda bad, is how lovable those action scenes can be. Overall, I think I'm gonna give this a 7.5 out of 10. Now on to X-Men 2. This was such a massive upgrade from the first movie, and even when Wolverine is such a central point within the first trilogy, they finally include him even much more within the storytelling of X-Men 2. The storytelling is top notch in every single way. You have Brian Cox as William Stryker trying to team up with Magneto and the government also into taking down the X-Men. Then luckily there's a surprise turn where Magneto joins the X-Men to defeat William Stryker because William Stryker has held Professor X hostage. And there's a lot of ties to the past and Wolverine's past also, with Weapon X of course. And I really feel like they crafted such a wonderful revenge type story for Wolverine, and they also crafted a very vengeful story overall that tends to be very different and unique from most comic book movies nowadays too. The stakes are risen much higher now, and there's a lot at play in this movie, and I definitely feel like Cyclops was utilized best at this movie. This movie is truly fantastic and so special in every single way, especially within the grand scale of comic book movies. Whenever you bring up X-Men 2 to any conversation, a lot of people are gonna praise that movie. Not just because it's a great movie, but because it's a fantastic comic book movie. Also, I feel like the chemistry works with all of the X-Men and all of the mutants in the X-Mansion best in this movie. All of the efforts that were put into this movie actually did feel like that they put into a lot of thought and effort to this movie. And you can really feel that within a lot of aspects, whether it's in special effects or action-packed scenes. Everything is utilized so perfectly. Especially Wolverine 2, he is at his best in this movie in the original trilogy. Like, my two personal favorite scenes in this movie might just be the house invasion scene, and Wolverine is just attacking all of them. That is just pure comic book movie greatness. And my overall rating for X-Men 2 is a 9.5 out of 10. Now on to the atrocity that is X-Men The Last Stand. This shouldn't be long to talk about because I just think it is so messy, and they messed up a bunch of characters and made a lot of stupid decisions within writing. The best aspects for me is Wolverine and the Beast, played by Kelsey Grammer, who did such a great job. But this movie did way too much stupid decisions, like how they treated Cyclops' character and how they tried to cram in a lot of storylines into one, especially with that almost terrible Vinnie Jones Juggernaut. I only say it's almost terrible because I do respect Vinnie Jones at the end of the day, but I just think this movie is terrible. But as a big X-Men fan, I will not be afraid to hold back on shitting on this movie because it really is that bad. But the only praise I can give it is there is some cool chemistry within the X-Men, and it's really fun to watch Wolverine and Beast together, and there are just some cool action scenes here and there, but this movie is just not not great. And I think I'll be giving it a 4 out of 10. So that is my review for the original trilogy of the X-Men films. These films always have their hit and misses, but these X-Men films will always be enjoyable in somewhat or some way. And Deadpool and Wolverine releases in July 25th in the UAE and July 26th in the USA, and I'll try to do my best of putting out a bunch of X-Men reviews for you guys in time. And make sure to subscribe and hit that like button and comment down below what is your favorite X-Men movie. And I'll see you guys next time.